Hi, welcome to Movie Digest. In this video I'm going to explain 2007 crime drama movie titled No Country for Old Men. Spoilers ahead. In the 80s, a hitman named Anton Chigurh got arrested in Texas by a deputy sheriff. He also finds a captive bolt gun with Anton. He informs the sheriff about him and tries to describe about the captive bolt gun. Meanwhile, Anton is getting his cuffed hands forward and strangles deputy sheriff to his death. He takes out the police car and stops another car on the highway. Anton kills that man using his captive bolt gun and escapes in his car. In the desert, Llewellyn Moss, a veteran, is aiming for a pronghorn. He shoots it, but the wounded pronghorn still runs away. He sets out to find it, as it can't run very long and follows its blood marks. But he finds something else, the abandoned vehicles and human corpses. It seems like a drug deal went wrong and finds several dead men and dogs. He finds a wounded Mexican who begs for water, but Moss doesn't have any. He finds the drugs in the truck. Moss goes further and sees a man lying near the tree. He goes near to find him dead, and finds $2 million in a briefcase. He takes the money and returns home, and spends some time watching television with his wife, Carla. That night Moss feels bad for the Mexican guy, and returns to him with some water, only to find him dead. Just then, a pair of drug dealers discovers his truck. They start chasing Moss by their truck, and shot Moss on the shoulder, but he escapes into the river. He realizes the men will track him using the information from his truck. Meanwhile, Anton is in a gas station and paying the bill. The owner gets curious and asked about his whereabouts, which makes Anton angry. Anton asks him some random questions, and the owner gets scared and tells Anton that he is closing the shop. He tries to give him a chance by flipping a coin, and asks the owner to call it. He doesn't know what is it for, but Anton says it wouldn't be fair if he doesn't call it. The owner calls it head and wins the toss, along with his life. Anton tells him to keep the coin safe as it is his lucky quarter. Moss gets home, cleans his wounds and tells Carla to stay with her mother. The cartel hired Anton to recover the money. They take him to the place where all happened. Anton grabs the receiver of the tracking device, which was placed in the money, and shoots them both in order to keep the money for himself. Anton burns the car and leaves. Sheriff Tom Bell and the deputy comes to the scene to investigate. They recognize the car belonged to the man who got shot by the highway, and also saw Moss's truck there. They get to the place where the shootout happened, and bodies are in a decomposed state. Meanwhile, Anton arrives at Moss's home, where he uses his captive bolt gun to blow the lock out of the door. He gets inside and finds no one, and he realizes he left in a hurry. Anton finds a telephone bill in the house. He calls Carla's mother and learns Moss isn't there. Later, Sheriff Tom and his deputy visit Moss's house. After seeing that blown-out lock in his house, Tom realizes that someone was after him. Moss gets to Del Rio and checks into a motel, and hides the briefcase in his room's air duct. He gets out to buy some clothes and returns at night. Moss finds the truck, which was used by the drug dealers to chase him in the desert, and Moss quickly leaves to another motel. Meanwhile, Anton is coming towards Del Rio. The next morning Moss goes to buy some ammunition, in order to fight against the drug dealers. He comes back to the motel, and asks the receptionist for another room, and takes the room next to his previous one. Anton reaches to the motel following the tracking device and the money. He takes out his captive bolt gun and gets to Moss's room. There he kills the group of Mexicans, who were waiting there to attack Moss. Meanwhile, Moss is extracting the briefcase from the air duct. He takes the bag just in time, before Anton opens the air duct, and escapes from there. The cartel hires Carson Wells, a Vietnam veteran like Moss, to recover the money and to kill Anton. Moss gets to Eagle Pass and checks into a hotel. He tips the receptionist with some money to alert him if anyone checks in that night. He gets to the room and looks into the briefcase. There he finds a tracker hidden in it. Suddenly he hears some noise outside and calls the receptionist. The phone keeps ringing but no one answers. Moss takes out his gun and aims at the door. Just then Anton blows the lock using his gun, causing an injury to Moss. He quickly jumps out through the window and escapes. Moss got severely injured. He gets to the road and stops a truck going by. Moss quickly gets in, but Anton is following him and kills the truck driver. He keeps shooting, and Moss dodges the bullets and gets the vehicle moving. He crosses the street but ends up hitting a parked car. Moss quickly gets away from the car, and runs towards the other side of the road and hides behind a car. He sees Anton approaching the truck. When he comes near the truck, Moss immediately gets out and shoots at him, and Anton quickly escapes from there. Moss gets to the Mexican border. He throws away the suitcase near a river in order to conceal it. He enters Mexico, and passes out because of excess bleeding. A music band takes him to the hospital. Meanwhile, Anton gets to the pharmacy, and he was also badly injured. He sets up the car on fire to distract everyone around, and gets inside the pharmacy to get the medicines. Anton gets back to the hotel and cleans his wounds. Sheriff Tom learns all the vehicles found at the scene are registered to deceased people. He tells his assistant he is going to meet Carla. Moss wakes up in the hospital, and Carson is sitting next to him. He asks Moss to return the money, so that he can protect him. But Moss rejects that offer. Carson warns him that Anton is going after his wife. He tells Moss where to find him, in case he changes his mind. Carla comes to meet Sheriff Tom. She tells that she doesn't know about his whereabouts. But Sheriff tells her that Moss is in serious trouble, and some bad guys are after him. He further says those guys will kill Moss, and there is nothing going to stop them. But Carla says Moss can handle them. Sheriff Tom assures her he can protect Moss and gives her his card. Carson gets back to the hotel, but gets caught by Anton. They get to his room. Carson tries to bargain for his life, telling he is just a traitor and offers him some money. But Anton rejects his offer and shoots him. Just then the phone rings, and Anton takes the call. It's Moss. Anton tells him he is going after his wife, Carla, unless he gives him the money, but he won't spare him. Moss crosses the border and retrieves the money from Rio Grande. He calls Carla and tells her to meet him at a motel in El Paso. He plans to give her the money and send her away. Moss thinks he can handle Anton better if she is away. Meanwhile, Anton goes to the man who hired Carson, and kills him for giving a receiver to the Mexicans. Carla and her mother are coming towards El Paso, and are unaware that Mexicans are following them. Her mom reveals Moss's location to a Mexican in a conversation. Carla calls Tom to tell where Moss is heading, and asks his assurance about protecting him, since Moss thinks he won't need anyone's help. Tom agrees to meet Moss alone and promises to keep him away from danger. Meanwhile, Anton's car broke down on a highway, and a man stops by to help him. Anton learns from the man that the nearest airport is in El Paso, as he suspects Carla is boarding a plane there. He kills that man and takes his truck. Tom reaches the motel at El Paso, only to hear gunshots, and spots a pickup truck speeding from the motel. Tom goes to the scene and finds Moss dead. Few hours later Carla arrives. She gets devastated after learning he is dead. Tom meets another officer, who calls Anton a lunatic, as he always gets back to the crime scene after killing his victims. Later, Tom gets to the crime scene, where Moss got killed. He finds the door lock has blown out, and Anton is hiding inside after retrieving the money. Tom takes out his gun and gets inside. There he finds the vent is removed. Later, Tom visits his uncle Ellis, a retired sheriff, who uses a wheelchair since being disabled by a gunshot wound in the line of duty. Tom tells him he plans to retire, since he feels overmatched by the recent violence. Weeks later, Carla's mother dies of cancer. She reaches home from the funeral, and finds Anton in her bedroom. Carla tells him she didn't have the money, and lost everything she already had. But Anton is determined to kill her, since he can't take back his word as per his threat to Moss. He then offers her a chance by flipping a coin and asks her to call it. She refuses his offer of a coin toss for her life, stating that he cannot pass blame to luck. The choice is his. Anton kills her, and checks his boot as he leaves the house. As he drives through the neighborhood, a car crashes into his at an intersection, injuring him badly. He gets out of the car and sits down. He asks a shirt from a young boy and asks him to tie it over his broken bone, and he bribes them for their silence and flees. Tom is now retired and shares his two dreams with his wife. In the first, he lost some money his father had given him. In the second, he and his father were riding through a snowy mountain pass. His father had made a fire in the darkness and waiting for Belle. That's how the movie ends. For more content, please subscribe.